Our Derby horses have arrived in the infield now. You're taking a look at Trap Mountain by Loblolly Stable. Their entrant here. We're going to get a closer look now at some of our contenders for the Arkansas Derby. Here's Tom Durkin, and the clock is running.
Time is running out for this year's Kentucky Derby hopefuls. The run for the Roses now just 2 weeks away. Time and schedules crucial in charting the progress of the thoroughbred racehorse. Arkansas Derby contender Clever Trevor is running right on time. The Oklahoma-bred champion has cashed a check in 9 of 11 career starts, highlighted by his victory in the $250,000 Remington Park Derby. He then shipped to Turfway Park and was fourth, beaten just 2 lengths in the $500,000 Jim Beam Stakes. Young trainer Donnie Von Hemmel is now looking for an answer to his biggest question.
Well, whether or not he's good enough to go on to Churchill. I think this race will be the race that tells us if we should go or not. If he runs a big race and wins it impressively, then, you know, we're going to go try the next level up. I guess there's one more level called Easy Goer. But, yeah, we're using this race to tell us what we should do.
Slightly behind schedule is trainer Frankie Brothers with Dancel, the beaten favorite in the Louisiana Derby, after 2 stakes wins here at Oak Lawn.
Well, he missed about a week. As quick as he had the virus, he got right over it. We ran a bunch of tests, and they came back good, and the horse he seems to be fine from what man can tell. And he's 6 weeks between his races, and he missed a week, so it's not kind of ideal, but it's not too bad. I would probably have had my way, do things a little different.
And California-based trainer Gary Jones is trying to beat the clock with the lightly raced Advocate Training. Unraced at 2, the son of Desert Wine went right from breaking his maiden to winning this allowance race at Santa Anita, and now jumps right into major stakes competition.
Right now, that's all we're concentrating on is the 400,000, and want to see what he does. You know, he's still green and, like I say, and kind of awkward about things, and we just want to see where we stand with him. He's learning leaps and bounds, and we're hoping we draw kind of an outside post position where he can be in the clear, and we get a square shot at it. I think if he does get a square shot at it, you'll see a good horse.
For some today, the countdown to the Kentucky Derby will continue. For others, time will run out.
And when we come back, we'll join the horses saddling in the beautiful infield area here at Oak Lawn Park. So come back with us. We'll meet the horses that run in the Derby.
We're live at Oak Lawn Park, the 3rd largest city in the state of Arkansas today. Our population is 66,230 people jammed into the grandstand and clubhouse here today. And they're good taxpayers, too. They're going to bet well over $5 million on the card this afternoon. Let's see how they're betting on the big race, the $400,000 Arkansas Derby. Dancel breaking from the rail. He's 8-1. Monastas Ridge, the morning line favorite, and still holding there at 5-2. Clever Trevor, a lot of support. He's 9-2. Really loaded a huge price today. Trap Mountain, lightly regarded, as is the Florida-based Big Stanley at 19-1. Sound Response, a big price there. Advocate Training getting a lot of support here. 3-1. He's the second choice. Double Quick long shot, Gauntlet Boy a long shot, and Irish Actor at 7-2. Let's go down to our man on the street, who's in the paddock, Chris Lincoln.
All right, thank you, Tom. And here with Leroy Jolly, who's the trainer for Irish Actor. Leroy, Irish Actor, the second in the Flamingo, and I think we'll come back with this.
Well, he was laid up for a while, and he needed his first 2 races, and he should be fit at this point. And, he should run well. He should have settled down some. He was pretty fresh in those races, laid up close to the pace. Here, I think he should settle back considerably further than he was the last time and come the last part of it.
That was the instruction you were giving Eddie Maple just a moment ago?
That's right.
By the way, welcome home, Leroy.
Well, it was only at home for about 2 weeks. I was born here, and then I left and never made it back much.
Well, I hope it's a good day and a good return for you.
Thank you.
Leroy Jolly, the trainer of Irish Actor. Let's head down the way now in the infield area. You're looking at the silk straight ahead of us. Just looking at Frankie Brothers, and he has the #1 horse here, Dancel, with Larry Snyder. And nobody has won more races at this racetrack than Larry Snyder. Quick word from Larry here. Larry, Dancel, what's the strategy here today for you?
Well, I think Frankie Brothers just kind of wants me to lay a little off the pace and not let him get too far in front of me and just try to make the one run when it's time to make a run.
Frankie, you worried about him being short? He had a couple sprints, 3rd in the Louisiana Derby.
Well, as a trainer, you always worried about that, but he's got a little more drama going to him because he had a little virus and he's going a mile and an eighth, and certain things aren't his way, but I expect him to give a good account of himself.
Frankie, good luck. Larry, have a good ride.
Thank you very much.
Larry Schneider, and he is about to be legged up now on Dancel, the #1 horse here. And you heard the riders up in the background. On the 2 horses, we're heading over there. Monastash Ridge, who on the board is still the 2-to-1 favorite. And Wayne Lucas has just legged up Robbie Davis. And Monastash Ridge is full of himself today. Wayne, let's step over between horses here. Wayne, he is a magnificent-looking colt, as all yours seem to be in the stable. How does he fit into the Derby plan?
Well, I think that all of these horses, mine included, probably have to earn their way. You know, it's just not a trip, an automatic trip to Kentucky because you enter the race. But if he runs well, Mickey Taylor's a very, very knowledgeable owner. He's been around. He had Slew himself. And I think that between the two of us, we can make an honest appraisal and probably a realistic one on this horse.
I've got to ask you about the big horse, Houston, down at Churchill Downs.
He's doing well. He's gotten in there. The weather's been beautiful in Kentucky, and he's had a very good last 3-4 days, and we're feeling real good about him. He's into his tub real well. He's eating well, and I think we're going to see the Houston that we saw earlier in the year when he runs next.
And that's a week from today, of course, the Derby trial. By the way, how's Wayne Lucasville down in the back?
Not as good as Houston. The back's been a problem, but as long as the horses are healthy, the back will get better.
All right, Wayne, good luck to you today.
Thank you, sir.
Wayne Lucas with the favorite here, Monastash Ridge. You see the horses now are heading out on the racetrack now as they are just starting to find the ones parading by us here. Gauntlet Boy, the 10 horse, just going by us now as we take a look at him. He looks in fine shape, trained by Gene Norman. And Gene, of course, hoping that he's going to have some success coming off the pace today. And the last one going by is going to make his way out to the track is Irish Actor, as Eddie Maple up. We talked earlier to Leroy Jolly about him. So they've cleared the way here in the paddock area at Oaklawn Park. All of them seem very well behaved. Monastash Ridge looked magnificent. And now for more on him, our post parade for the Arkansas Derby to the top of the stands. Here's Tom Durkin.
And here they are for the 53rd running of the Arkansas Derby, and that is number 8, Advocate Training there with Chris McCarron. Let's go to the top of the list. Danzel won 2 stakes here before finishing 3rd as the favorite in the Louisiana Derby. He's been off 6 weeks, though. He was ridden by Pat Day, who is otherwise occupied today with a horse called Easy Goer. Larry Snyder is going to pick up the mount here on Danzel. Number 2 is Monastash Ridge, the favorite. Another talented son of Seattle Slew with the gift of speed. Oh, he looks like the old sire there on his toes in the post parade. So impressive in the Rebel here. He won by 7. A Wayne Lucas trainee. Robbie Davis is the rider. Number 3 is Clever Trevor. Has the most important quality a thoroughbred can have. He loves to win. He is 8 for 11, including the Remington Park Derby. Last out was 4th in the Jim Beam. He'll rate just off the lead. Don Pettinger, his regular rider. And number 4 is Really Loaded, a 3-year-old son of Herculean. He needs a Herculean effort to win this one today. He was beaten 22 lengths in the Rebel. Gene St. Leon of Lost Code fame is the jockey. Number 5, Trap Mountain, precocious at 2, disappointing at age 3. He won the Saratoga Special and the Grade 1 Futurity at Belmont. Had a knee operation over the winter and really hasn't performed very well this season. Don Howard returns to ride. And then there's number 6, Big Stanley. Florida-based trainer George Giano sends him here. He won the Tropical Park Derby at Calder. 3rd in the Florida Derby. Caught a buzzsaw in Monastash Ridge, and the Rebel gets a 1 1/8 to work with this afternoon. For 20-year-old Heriberto Castillo Jr., the biggest mount of his career. Sound Response, number 7, is still eligible for non-winners of a race other than maiden or claiming, and is the only horse in the race that is not eligible for the Triple Crown. Angelo Trosclair is up again on this $12,000 Keeneland sales purchase. Number 8 is Advocate Training, and making only his 4th start. He won his last 2 races, both at Santa Anita, both around 2 turns, and lost the lead twice, really showing remarkable courage in winning his last race. And Chris McCarron teamed up with Gary Jones to win the $250,000 fantasy here yesterday with fantastic luck. Double Quick is number 9, a $17,000 Keeneland purchase. He won the El Camino Royale Derby earlier this year, possesses good early speed, but might not be good enough to get to Monastash Ridge. Jerry Bailey, be interesting to see what he does with his horse when they leave the starting gate. And Gauntlet Boy, number 10, is by Run the Gantlet, whose best distance was 1.5 miles. Gauntlet Boy gives every indication that the apple didn't fall too far from that tree. He's been closing well in 1 1/16 miles. He should love the 9 furlongs. this afternoon. Antonio Castanon will be riding him today. And here's number 11, Irish Actor, a $45,000 Keeneland purchase. That was a bargain. He's earned more than any other horse in this field, over $470,000. He is the class of the field with a Grade 1 victory in the Young America last year at the Meadowlands, and he was second in the Grade 1 Flamingo this year. Leroy Jolly trains, Eddie Maple rides, and he's owned by Dr. K.K.J. Araman. That is a lot of syllables to say. He's a local fellow, and the folks down here just like to refer to him, Chris, as Dr. J.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. And our host here at Oaklawn Park, joining us now in the infield before heading back across the track, Mr. Charles Sullivan. Mr. Sullivan, I know everybody in Arkansas gasped when the grading committee came out and dropped this to a Grade 2.
Well, Chris, we were a little disappointed. After all, Grade 1 is what it's all about, and I kind of rather imagine that the people in Arkansas didn't like that. You know, we're Hickory down here.
I know you're going to work to get that corrected. We want to thank you for having us here. This is kind of special for us. Oaklawn Park is where it all started for us, Thoroughbred Sports, and we were together at the end of last year for a special moment.
Chris, I congratulate you, of course. You started your program here a few years back, and you're now the golden voice of thoroughbred racing heard across the country. You do a great job.
So thank you, and thanks as always, the sun's shining on Oaklawn Park.
It's a beautiful day.
Thank you very much. Charles J. Sullivan, the president of Oaklawn Park, and you're taking a look at Delane Lucas, his thoughts on Manastash Ridge, the favorite in the Arkansas Derby. When we come back, more of our Arkansas Derby coverage right now, a Breeders' Cup Championship moment.
Another Breeders' Cup Championship moment. On an overcast November afternoon at Churchill Downs, the French filly Miesque and her rider Freddie Head return to the Breeders' Cup to defend her title in the $1 million Breeders' Cup Mile.
Miesque is charging hard to take the lead now. She's looking for back-to-back wins in the Breeders' Cup Mile. Pulling away, Miesque has won it.
For Miesque, the first two-time Breeders' Cup winner, this historic performance was her championship moment.
United Airlines, from the ground up, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies.
We're at Oaklawn Park in Hot Springs, Arkansas, bringing you live coverage on ESPN of the 53rd running of the Arkansas Derby. And the horse is warming up on the backside. As we can tell you, Manastash Ridge, the two-horse, is the 2-to-1 favorite right now. Then we have Advocate Training and Irish Actor, both co-second choices. Well, those are favorites. How about a long shot? A Budweiser long shot for the Arkansas Derby.
Our Budweiser long shot for the Arkansas Derby is Trap Mountain, a colt with many ties to the Razorback State. His name comes from the original Trap Mountain located just outside Hot Springs and visible from Oaklawn. He's owned by the Loblolly stable of Arkansas native John Ed Anthony, whose Demons Be Gone won this race in 1987 as one of 3 straight Arkansans to do so. Trap Mountain, the horse, was one of the top 2-year-olds last year after winning 2 graded stakes and was rated only 4 pounds below Easy Goer in the free handicap weights. His 3-year-old campaign was delayed by knee surgery, and this will be only his 3rd start of 1989. But he closed willingly in the Rebel Stakes over this track, and jockey Don Howard rides him for the 2nd time this afternoon. Trainer Rusty Arnold hasn't enjoyed the greatest spring, but he just might salvage a major prize today with Trap Mountain, our Budweiser long shot.
And Trap Mountain in the famed Loblolly stables, winners, 2-time winners of this Arkansas Derby event, listed at 15-to-1. So a good Budweiser long shot. Here's the update odds. Dance with a 9-to-1. Manastash Ridge, the 9-to-5 favorite. Clever Trevor at 5-to-1, really loaded at 90. Trap Mountain, you see the Bud long shot, 15. Big Stanley, 22-to-1. Rounding out our field of 11, Sound Response, 80. Advocate Training, along with Irish Actor, you see, co-second choices at 7-to-2. Well, now we'd like to bring you a pre-race analysis from the Daily Racing Form. And their track man here, chart caller, Jack Valentine. Here's the form and a look inside for you.
When you have 5 horses going into the premier event of the Oaklawn calendar from the same prep race, it helps a lot to look at the chart rather than the past performances. And sometimes in that chart, it's as important what didn't happen or what wasn't stated as to what was. A case in point is Manastash Ridge and Double Quick. They broke from post positions 13 and 14 and managed to get to the inside before they reached the first turn, so they didn't lose any ground whatsoever. Another point to take into consideration are the fractions that Manistash Ridge set in that race. He went the first half mile in 45-1 and the 6 furlongs in 109-2, which made his third quarter 24-1, a quarter in which most closers are making up ground. A case in point is Gauntlet Boy, who was last in the early stages, only made up 2 lengths and was 19 lengths back with 5/16 of a mile to run. Another is Trap Mountain, who usually comes from midway back in the field, and he actually lost ground in that quarter. Another point to consider is what Manistash Ridge did after he entered the stretch. He swerved in sharply, and that is normally what is done by a tiring horse. Once he was straightened out, he increased his lead from 3 to 7 lengths in the final furlong. And those are some of the many things that you can find out reading footnotes and looking at the charts.
Well, as far as strategy goes in this race, if you're a St. Louis baseball Cardinal baseball fan, you can appreciate it. How about when Vince Coleman gets on first base and this guy's got such brilliant speed and he's ready to steal? Well, the pitcher on the other team's looking over at him and he's not concentrating on the batter, and the catcher can't call for a curve and he can't call for a slider or any slow stuff. The second baseman's edging over towards second base, and if anything's hit to his left, he's not going to get to it. With all that intimidating speed on first base, everybody's game is off. Well, Manistash Ridge is Vince Coleman. What are you going to do? Run with him and get cooked? Or let him run loose on the lead so he scores wire to wire? I think that's what he's going to do. He's going to do what Vince Coleman does. He's going to do whatever he wants to do, and I think he's going to go wire to wire to win the Arkansas Derby. His odds now are 9-5. I don't know if I'd like to take such a short price as that, but I think he's going to do it today. Chris, back to you.
Well, Tom, as I was looking over this field and talking earlier to Randy Moss, who's one of the top handicappers here at Oaklawn Park, he also had backed Manistash Ridge earlier, but all of a sudden he said, wait, I took a closer look at the race, and to me it shapes up a lot like the Remington Park Derby, where Manistash Ridge again set early fractions, challenged by Double Quick, and then it was Clever Trevor who made the big move here. Manistash Ridge right now remaining a very strong favorite. He's in an inside post position, number 2, just where Wayne Lucas likes to have him. But on the outside is a horse, Double Quick, the 9 horse. And he's going to be one to watch because he is going to try to come out and press the pace. We talked earlier to his trainer, Mel Studi. He said, maybe I can get out and lean a little bit on Manistash Ridge. Well, if that happens, Clever Trevor, trained by Donnie Von Hemel, ridden by Don Pettinger, you can bet is going to be in fairly close striking range, as is Chris McCarron. Chris is right now on the 8-horse Advocate Training, and that to me is the biggest surprise, Tom. Advocate Training getting tremendous support for a horse who's never been in a stakes race. He is now 7-2 and a co-second choice. Let's take a look now at the records they're trying to break here, and the track has been fast today. A stakes record 146-4 by Wayne Lucas's Althea in 84, and then in 87, Snow Chief, trained by Mel Studi, in the Oaklawn handicap, set what is the mile of a track record here of 146-3. At stake, $400,000. First place, $240,000. But more than that, folks, this is the final exam. They're going to grade this as soon as it's over and decide who's going to pass. Who's going to pass on that road down to Churchill Downs. And then, of course, 2 weeks away for the 115th Kentucky Derby. They're loading up. Let's go to the top of the stands now. The man who'll call it again for us, here's Tom Durkin.
And just a few behind the gate, Double Quick. Very interesting to see what Jerry Bailey will do with this horse when they leave the starting gate. They've got a pretty good run into the first turn here. And on the outside will be Gauntlet Boy from post position, number 10. He won't do much running early, but I think he's going to be flying late at the end of this 9 furlongs. On the outside, Irish Actor. Tommy Wagner is the starter here. He's pretty quick on the trigger. As soon as they go on the gate, he lets them loose. He'll be starting the Kentucky Derby 2 weeks from today. Irish Actor is... And they're off, stumbling at the start. Manistash Ridge, he stumbled leaving the starting gate. The complexion of the race has changed completely, and Robbie Davis is trying to get back in the irons. He's last now. They're passing us for the first time, and it's going to be Double Quick who's going to take the lead now. Big Stanley is up close early. Clever Trevor is right there toward the inside. On the far outside, Advocate Training, and Dansel's saving ground all the way. Now he's right up there with the first flight. 2.5 lengths now back to Really Loaded, and Sound Response is 3 wide as they round the first turn. Trap Mountain is just about 6 lengths off the lead, and then it's Gauntlet Boy. Irish Actor is second to last, and amazingly, Manistash Ridge is the trailer as they make their way up the backstretch now. Clever Trevor and Dancel, and now those two are vying for the lead as they continue up the backstretch. The quarter was quick. 22 3/5 seconds on the outside. Double Quick is right there now pressing the early leaders, and Big Stanley's just in behind them now. Big Stanley is moving well as the field heads for the far turn. Long Shot Really Loaded is just in behind that group now, and Chris McCarron, his Advocate Training, with Clear running on the far outside. They run a half in a blazing 45 3/5 seconds. Danzel leads the way now with 3 furlongs to run in the Arkansas Derby, and Clever Trevor is still moving right with him. Double Quick remains just off the lead on the outside. Then it's Big Stanley just in behind them. Then a gap of 4 back to Advocate Training. Manastash Ridge is still far back in the field. Irish Actor is 9 lengths out of it as they turn for home. And Danzel turns it on. Danzel now is opened up here by a length. Clever Trevor now running to him again on the outside. They've left Double Quick behind. They're in the final furlong. Danzel is full out. Clever Trevor with one final surge now as they come down to the wire. Danzel, Clever Trevor, those two, neither giving way. Unyielding Danzel, and he's going to outgame him to the wire. Danzel wins the Arkansas Derby, and he's very happy, Larry Snyder, this afternoon. Clever Trevor was second. The time here was 1:49 and 1. And as soon as they sprung the latch, that was the death knell for the favorite here, Manastash Ridge. He really never even picked up his feet, actually, as he never got to the lead. And the time here, 1:49 and 1. Chris Lincoln, who'd have thunk it?
Well, I'll tell you, Tom, I've never heard a jock yell with so much excitement as I heard Larry Snyder. You've got to understand, this is Oaklawn Park's all-time winningest rider, a native of Hot Springs. He has never won the Arkansas Derby until today. The unofficial winner on Danzel, a tremendous training job by Frankie Brothers. Danzel disappointed a lot of folks in Louisiana as the 7-5 favorite and finished third there. Well, he got a virus, then shook it off, and looks like it's the winner of Arkansas's most important race. We're going to take a look now at really what happened in this race. Watch the 2-hole, Manastash Ridge, and you see he goes right down on his third jump, almost got under the legs of Danzel. A remarkable job by Robbie Davis to hold on to Manastash Ridge, but there you see him fall back, and you see Robbie fighting to get his feet in the irons, and that's it for Manastash Ridge. It became an open race, and it belonged to Danzel. John Franks, the owner, and what a big victory for Danzel, who may have earned himself a trip to Kentucky's Derby next. We'll be back to Oaklawn Park right after these messages. Well, you're looking at some of racing's most famous silks, those of John Franks from Shreveport, Louisiana. 2-time Eclipse Award-winning owner in '83 and '84. And the man who arrived, what a big day it is for this resident of Hot Springs, Arkansas, Larry Snyder. He has won his first Arkansas Derby after so many attempts. I asked his wife, Jeanette, how many has he been in? She said, it doesn't make any difference. This is the one he won. Danzel, 1:49 and 1. Clever Trevor, unofficially second. Advocate Training third. We'll go to the top of the roof. Tom Durkin again for a closer look at this race.
Well, the early fractions in here were just spectacular. 22 and 3, 45 and 3. Talk all week long here was that the rail was not the place to be. Don't tell that to Larry Snyder, because they gave him the rail when they moved into the first turn, and that's the way he took all the way around the racetrack. May have made the winning difference. He's going to fight off Clever Trevor here all the way. Really weren't going too fast at the end. They were slowing down quite a bit, but they had every right to because of those early fractions. Great ride here by Larry Snyder. Good effort by both of these horses. It was quite a ways back to the third place finisher. Let's go down to Chris. There's a nice little trophy there for somebody.
Well, there is John Franks accepting the trophy from Harriet Seller, the daughter of Charles Seller, here for the Arkansas Derby. The story of this race, the build-up, and as the race started, was Manastash Ridge, the favorite. This is Robbie Davis, the rider. Robbie, we're going to take a look again. What happened? Amazing you could even hold on.
Yeah, it was a little bit exciting there, but too bad that the horse had grabbed a quarter just coming away from there, and he stumbled like the first jump and then the second jump again, and I was real fortunate just to be able to stay on top of him.
Well, we couldn't quite see him there, but inside you fell back, and that really just about put him out of the race. Robbie, though, congratulations, but at least just holding on. Good to have you back.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
Robbie Davis, and we'll be back with more of the Arkansas Derby story right after this.
In the month of April here at Claiborne, we're halfway home through the breeding season. The breeding shed here at Claiborne, it's just like a page of history. Some of the best mares in the world have been bred here, and they'll continue to do so because some of the best stallions in the world stand here at Claiborne. Nature has a funny way of the mating season. I think the thoroughbreds the same way. Once the breeding season arrives at Claiborne, These horses know it's time to go to work. When you come right down, and the old saying, as Mr. Hancock said here, breed the best to the best and hope for the best.
You know, I can feel the excitement already. Exarban's opening week is just around the corner, and believe me, it's going to be a doozy.
On opening day, be one of the first 15,000 paid admissions and receive a free Exarban wallet. It's a $10 value, and hundreds of lucky people will find cash inside, up to $1,000. And Saturday, May 6th, come out and bet on the Kentucky Derby and watch it live on the Exarban video monitors. Don't miss Exarban's opening week 89.
It's your best bet.
A lot of smiles here in Arkansas for those who cashed on Danzel. Look at the payoff. $20, $865, 20, 149 and 1. The time for the mile and an eighth. Clever Trevor, Oklahoma's champion, finishes second, a game second, $560 and $4. And then Advocate Training, the folks knew what they were talking about. His first stakes appearance, he runs third, $440 at the beginning. The big story, Monastash Ridge, out of it at the start. Larry Schneider waiting a long time for this Oaklawn's all-time winningest rider. Finally, the Derby.
Yes, it's really a good feeling. I can't really explain it. I'm just on a real high right now, believe me, I am.
John Franks, are you heading to the Kentucky Derby?
Yes, we are. We plan to go if the horse stays fit, comes out of the race good, and we plan to go.
How do you rate this 3-year-old with the many you've had in your years?
Well, he's the best I've had, and I think he showed it today. He scared me up front there. I didn't know if he'd hold on after that 9-3, but he did a good job.
Congratulations, John Franks, Larry Schneider. Great job by Frankie Brothers. When we come back, we'll have more of our 3-year-old picture as we are 2 weeks away from the Kentucky Derby, and Danzel is racing for it right now. We're back at Oaklawn Park with the 53rd running of the Arkansas Derby is history. Official prices again. Danzel with a great payoff of $20. And Clever Trevor second. Advocate Training third. 149 and 1 the time on a fast track for the 9 furlongs. And here is now the rest of the order of finish. Irish Actor, Leroy Jolly's horse runs 4th. Double Quick 5th. Big Stanley 6th. Trap Mountain, the Budweiser long shot, runs 7th. Really Loaded 8th. Monastash Ridge, after the terrible start, the 2-to-1 favorite, runs 9th. Gauntlet Boy 10th. And Sound Response finishes 11th and last. Another look now at our Arkansas Derby with Tom Durkin.
And the start was absolutely eventful in the Arkansas Derby, and it determined the outcome of the whole race. Danzel breaking from post position number 1, and the speedy Monastash Ridge, who tried to break from post position number 2, and Double Quick, who had good early speed. So they spring the latch, and Larry Schneider immediately realizes that Robbie Davis is having trouble with Monastash Ridge. From the outside, it's Double Quick with Jerry Bealey. He's going to send him all the way early. That was the plan all the way. But with Danzel, I don't think he necessarily wanted to be up this close. But he realized that Monastash Ridge wasn't going to be there, so he sent him up. And here's one of the key moves in the race. He took the rail right here. He saved every bit of ground to win this race. Clever Trevor was to his outside, and that may have had a great deal to do with the outcome of the Arkansas Derby. Let's go down to Chris.
Well, Tom, as you mentioned earlier, everybody here, even in Arkansas, has had an eye towards New York and on a certain 3-year-old named Easy Goer. The conditions of the Wood Memorial Stakes, well, it was a Grade 1, a race, $500,000 the purse. And now let's pick up the call from Dave Johnson earlier with ABC Sports, the Wood Memorial, and Easy Goer.
And down the stretch they come. Easy Goer has the lead by 1. Rock Point on the outside, second at the rail. It's Triple Buck coming into the final 16th of a mile. Easy Goer has the lead, draws off by 2. Rock Point second, Triple Buck third. The Wood Memorial goes to Easy Goer with Pat Day aboard, winning it by about 3.5 lengths. It's a photo between Rock Point and Triple Buck for the place and show spots. Not the margin of victory in the Gotham Mile, but a convincing victory here this afternoon on a dull strip. Answering a lot of questions. Yes, he can go around 2 turns. Yes, he possibly should be considered with the word greatness, and he is the odds-on choice for the run for the Roses.
All right, Dave Johnson with a call earlier today from ABC Sports of the Wood Memorial. Easy Goer, there's the prices, 150 and 3, 220, 220, 210. Rock Point and Triple Buck, huge minus pool again at Aqueduct today. Let's go now to Tom Durkin, his final thoughts on the day.
Well, Pat Day's got to be happy with the way Easy Goer ran today. He had been riding Danzel. He couldn't ride both of them today, and Larry Steiner picked up the mount in a $400,000 victory. They're both pretty happy guys this afternoon.
And for us coming up, we're leaving right from here to go to Lexington, Kentucky, to Keeneland for the Lexington Stakes, live on ESPN Tuesday. Join us then, 4 to 5 Eastern, then the Kentucky Oaks and the Kentucky Derby in 2 weeks. Join us for all, as we're going to be keeping you posted. The Arkansas Derby, won by Dansel, has been brought to you by Budweiser Beechwood Age, for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By Claiborne Farm, for more than a century, a great record reflects our experience. By the Breeders' Cup, racing's $10 million championship. Caesar's Palace, Las Vegas, relive the legend. And by the Carter Stud Farms of California. Charts and statistics, courtesy of the Daily Racing Form, America's Turf Authority. Budweiser Racing across America. Executive producer Jim Wilburn. Our director today, Doug Wren. Producer Tom